cabeza asiática, sobre la que nace un pelo oscuro, tan delgado y fino que parece...
Frida Kahlo, the iconic Mexican painter, is often remembered for her vivid and surreal self-portraits that reveal the depths of her physical and emotional suffering. Kahlo's life, marred by chronic pain and numerous surgeries following a devastating bus accident, becomes a profound exploration of human resilience and the interplay between body and mind. Her story, much like her art, is a canvas painted with agony, love, and unyielding strength. Frida Kahlo was only 18 years old when her life took a tragic turn. On September 17, 1925, she boarded a bus with her then-boyfriend, Alejandro Gomez Arias. The bus collided with a trolley car, resulting in a horrific accident that would forever alter Kahlo's life. A metal handrail impaled her abdomen and uterus, fracturing her spine and pelvis in multiple places. She also suffered broken ribs, a broken leg, and a shattered collarbone. The graphic nature of her injuries is almost unimaginable. Kahlo was left with a body that would never fully heal, and she endured over 30 surgeries throughout her life. The physical trauma was not just a moment of suffering, but a lifelong companion shaping her identity and her art. The severity of her injuries forced her to confront her mortality at a young age, a theme that would permeate her work and life philosophy. To understand Frida Kahlo, we must start from the beginning, her childhood. According to an official birth registry, Frida was born on July 6, 1907, in her maternal grandmother's home in Coyoacán, a suburb of Mexico City. Her full name was Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo y Calderón, but she later shortened it to Frida Kahlo. Her father, born Carl Wilhelm Kahlo, changed his name to Guillermo Kahlo after immigrating from Germany to Mexico at 19. Frida often claimed her father was of Jewish-Hungarian descent, but meticulous research revealed he was born in Germany. Guillermo established himself as a sought-after photographer, documenting Mexico's architectural marvels, churches, and street life, leaving behind work of artistic and historical value. After the tragic death of his first wife, Maria Cardena, during childbirth, Guillermo wasted no time in marrying Matilde Calderón y González, Frida's mother, a devout Catholic of Spanish descent. Their marriage was one of convenience rather than love, creating a tense household atmosphere that Frida often described as very sad. Despite this, Frida was particularly favored by her parents, perhaps due to her health challenges, fostering a complex relationship where she associated pain with receiving love and attention. Frida's childhood was marked by a series of hardships, starting with contracting polio at 6, leaving her right leg thinner and weaker. Initially dismissed by her parents as a minor injury from a playground incident, her condition worsened, resulting in a 9-month bed rest. To hide her deformity and avoid bullying, Frida wrapped her leg in bandages and wore long skirts, a style that would become iconic. Her untreated condition, coupled with the lack of proper medical intervention, likely contributed to her developing spinal and pelvic issues, would later affect her ability to bear children, a profound sorrow reflected in her art. Despite her physical limitations, Frida's father encouraged her to engage in sports considered unconventional for girls at the time, like boxing and wrestling. These activities were perhaps Guillermo's way of instilling resilience in Frida, who he recognized as having a sharp mind and artistic talent. Her penchant for masculine attire, evident in family photographs, including a notable image where she donned a 3-piece suit, has sparked much speculation. Some believe this cross-dressing was an exploration of her gender identity, while others see it as a rejection of traditional femininity. Frida's formal education was equally unconventional. Starting school later due to her illness, she faced additional trauma when allegedly abused by a female teacher at a German school. Following this, Frida transferred to the prestigious National Preparatory School in Mexico City, where she was one of only 35 girls among 2,000 students. Here, she thrived academically and socially, becoming known for her rebellious spirit and interest in politics. She joined the Young Communist League and later the Mexican Communist Party, aligning herself with leftist ideals and becoming a vocal advocate against conservatism. Now that we have more flavor of her upbringing and childhood, hopefully some of the tragic pieces of her life will start to make more sense. These experiences, some tragic and some upbuilding, will have significant repercussions. From the pain in her paintings, from the writing in her diary, even to her husband and lovers, all these pivotal moments play out in her life. For all of us, the first few years of our lives are formed from such a short and powerful period in time. During the period where we have no say-so, from being born to how we are raised, life is magical and chaotic, an unplanned storm with glass and flowers blowing about. This is the essence of being human, being alive. Let's get back to the accident. In the immediate aftermath of the accident, Kahlo was confined to a hospital bed, encased in a full body cast. The pain was excruciating and the prognosis was grim. Doctors were uncertain if she would ever walk again. It was during this time that Kahlo began to paint seriously. Bedridden and immobilized, she used a special easel that allowed her to paint while lying down. Her mother had a mirror placed above her bed, so Kahlo could see herself, which led to the creation of many self-portraits. This act of painting was not just a distraction from her pain, but a vital form of therapy and expression. Kahlo turned to painting during her lengthy recovery. Her early works reflected her pain and isolation, with self-portraits becoming a dominant theme. Kahlo once said, "I paint myself because I am so often alone, and because I am the subject I know best." This introspection and self-examination were crucial for her as she grappled with her new reality. Her self-portraits are raw and unflinching, often depicting her with a unibrow, mustache, and wearing traditional Tehuana dresses. These choices were not merely stylistic, but also political and personal statements. Kahlo embraced her indigenous Mexican heritage and defied conventional standards of beauty, challenging societal norms. Her decision to portray herself in this way was a form of resistance against the Western ideals of beauty and femininity that dominated her time. In her painting The Broken Column, 1944, Kahlo portrays herself with a fractured spine, symbolized by a crumbling ionic column. Her body is pierced with nails, and tears stream down her face, capturing the relentless pain she endured. This work, like many others, blurs the line between reality and symbolism, creating a powerful narrative of suffering and strength. The broken column represents her damaged spine, while the tears reflect her ongoing emotional anguish. Despite the suffering depicted, there is also a sense of resilience as Kahlo's gaze remains strong and defiant. Frida Kahlo's tumultuous relationship with fellow artist Diego Rivera is another critical aspect of her life and work. Rivera, a renowned muralist, and Kahlo married in 1929, forming a passionate yet volatile union. Their relationship was marked by infidelities, arguments, and mutual artistic influence. Rivera was 20 years her senior and had already established himself as a prominent figure in the art world. Their marriage was unconventional and open, which led to numerous affairs on both sides. Kahlo's painting Diego and I, in 1949, encapsulates the intensity of their bond. In the portrait, Rivera's face is depicted on Kahlo's forehead, symbolizing his pervasive presence in her mind and life. Despite the emotional turmoil, their love was a source of inspiration and motivation for Kahlo. She once wrote in her diary, "I love you more than my own skin." This deep, almost obsessive love was both a source of immense joy and profound pain for Kahlo. She also said, "There have been two great accidents in my life. One was the train, the other was Diego. Diego was by far the worst. Therefore, this paints a clear or fuzzier picture of their love, pain, and relationship." The complexities of their relationship resonate with the thoughts of French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre, who believed that hell is other people, from his play No Exit. The intertwining of love and pain in Kahlo's life reflects Sartre's existential idea that our relationships with others are fundamental to our understanding of ourselves, often bringing both joy and suffering. Sartre's philosophy of existentialism, which emphasizes the individual's experience and the freedom to define oneself, can be seen in Kahlo's relentless self-exploration through her art. Rivera's influence on Kahlo's work was significant. He encouraged her to explore Mexican folk art and to embrace her cultural heritage, which became a prominent feature in her paintings. Conversely, Kahlo's impact on Rivera was also profound. Her unique perspective and emotional depth influenced his work, and their artistic dialogue enriched both of their careers. Despite the personal turmoil, their relationship was a crucible for creativity and artistic growth. André Breton, the founder of the Surrealist movement, once described Frida Kahlo's work as a ribbon around a bomb. Her paintings, while deeply personal, also fit into the broader context of surrealism, with their dreamlike qualities and exploration of the unconscious mind. However, Kahlo rejected the surrealist label, asserting, "They thought I was a surrealist, but I wasn't. I never painted dreams. I painted my own reality." Kahlo's assertion aligns with the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, who emphasized the importance of embracing one's reality and personal suffering. Nietzsche famously said, "To live is to suffer, to survive is to find some meaning in the suffering." Kahlo's art embodies this philosophy, transforming her pain into powerful visual narratives that resonate with universal themes of suffering and survival. Nietzsche's concept of amor fati, or love of fate, is evident in Kahlo's acceptance of her circumstances and her ability to find beauty and meaning in her suffering. One of Kahlo's most iconic works, The Two Fridas, 1939, illustrates her internal struggle and dual identity. The painting depicts two versions of Kahlo sitting side by side, one dressed in a traditional Tehuana dress representing her Mexican heritage, and the other in a European-style dress, symbolizing her connection to the Western world. The hearts of the two Fridas are exposed, with one being whole and the other bleeding, connected by a vein that represents both unity and division. This complex imagery reflects Kahlo's exploration of identity, cultural heritage, and personal suffering. Breton's surrealism aimed to unlock the subconscious mind and explore the irrational and dreamlike aspects of human experience. While Kahlo's work shares some of these characteristics, her paintings are grounded in her personal reality and experiences. This distinction sets her apart from the broader surrealist movement, highlighting her unique approach to art and self-expression. Frida Kahlo was not only an artist, but also a committed political activist. She was a member of the Mexican Communist Party and used her art to express her political beliefs. Her painting, Marxism Will Give Health to the Sick, 1954, illustrates her faith in communism as a remedy for both personal and societal ailments. In the painting, Kahlo is depicted with a steel brace, supported by Marxist symbols, as if finding solace and strength in her political convictions. Her activism and art are reminiscent of Antonio Gramsci's idea of pessimism of the intellect, optimism of the will. Despite her physical limitations and personal struggles, Kahlo maintained a fierce commitment to social justice and political change, embodying Gramsci's belief in the power of human will to overcome adversity. Kahlo's involvement in politics was deeply personal, influenced by her father's liberal views and her own experiences of suffering and injustice. Kahlo's political beliefs were also reflected in her personal relationships. She had an affair with Leon Trotsky, the exiled Russian revolutionary who stayed with Kahlo and Rivera in Mexico for a time. This relationship was a significant moment in her life, intertwining her personal and political worlds. Kahlo's painting Self-Portrait with Stalin, 1954, further illustrates her political convictions, depicting herself alongside the Soviet leader, who she saw as a symbol of strength and resilience. Kahlo's commitment to her political beliefs was unwavering, even as her health deteriorated. In her final public appearance, she attended a protest against the CIA-backed coup in Guatemala, carried on a stretcher due to her frail condition. This act of defiance and solidarity underscores her lifelong dedication to social justice and political activism. Frida Kahlo's legacy extends far beyond her paintings. She has become a symbol of resilience, creativity, and defiance. Her life story and art continue to inspire countless individuals, particularly women in marginalized communities, to embrace their identities and find strength in their struggles. Kahlo's work is celebrated worldwide, and her influence can be seen in various forms of contemporary art and culture. The graphic detail of Kahlo's suffering, both physical and emotional, adds a visceral layer to her legacy. Her ability to transform pain into profound and beautiful art is a testament to the human spirit's capacity for resilience and creativity. Kahlo's work reminds us of the words of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, who wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Kahlo's art challenges us to confront our own realities, to find meaning in our suffering, and to embrace our true selves. Her story is a powerful narrative of survival, creativity, and the enduring human spirit. The universal themes of love, pain, and resilience in her work continue to resonate with audiences around the world, making her an enduring figure in the history of art. In recent years, Frida Kahlo has become a cultural icon, her image and art appearing on everything from clothing to home decor. This commercialization has sparked debates about the commodification of her legacy and the dilution of her political and personal struggles. Despite this, the widespread recognition of Kahlo's work has also brought greater awareness to her life and the issues she championed. Kahlo's influence can be seen in the work of contemporary artists who explore themes of identity, gender, and resilience. Her impact on feminist art is particularly significant as she challenged traditional notions of femininity and beauty, paving the way for future generations of women artists. Kahlo's unflinching portrayal of her own body and experiences continues to inspire artists to explore their own identities and confront societal norms. In popular culture, Kahlo's life has been the subject of numerous films, documentaries, and books. The 2002 film Frida, starring Salma Hayek, brought her story to a global audience, highlighting both her artistic achievements and personal struggles. While the film received critical acclaim, it also faced criticism for its romanticized portrayal of Kahlo's life and relationships. Nonetheless, it contributed to the growing recognition of Kahlo as a significant cultural and historical figure. Frida Kahlo's words offer profound insight into her art, life, heart, mind, and soul, each quote encapsulating a fragment of her complex existence. "At the end of the day, we can endure much more than we think we can," she once said, a testament to her resilience despite the excruciating pain from her countless surgeries and the emotional turmoil she faced. This endurance is vividly reflected in her self-portraits, where her suffering is transformed into powerful, defiant imagery. "I drank to drown my sorrows, but the damn things learned how to swim." This quote captures the relentless nature of her emotional pain, which persisted despite her attempts to escape it. Her paintings often depict this struggle, intertwining sorrow with vivid, surreal elements that illustrate the persistence of her inner demons. "I don't paint dreams or nightmares. I paint my own reality." Kahlo's art is an unfiltered reflection of her reality, merging physical agony with her rich cultural heritage. Her paintings are not mere fantasies, but raw, visceral expressions of her life experiences. "I hope the exit is joyful, and I hope never to return." These words reveal Kahlo's complex relationship with life and death, a recurring theme in her art. Her portrayal of mortality is both haunting and hopeful, expressing a deep desire for peace beyond her suffering. Lastly, "I want to be inside your darkest everything" speaks to her yearning for deep emotional connection. This quote underscores the intensity of her relationships and the profound empathy that permeates her work, where she seeks to connect with the viewer on the deepest levels. Through these quotes, Kahlo's enduring spirit, relentless pain, and profound passion are vividly illustrated, offering a deeper understanding of the heart and soul behind her iconic art. Let's take a moment to dive deeper into some of Frida's paintings. The painting Two Nudes in a Forest, created by Frida Kahlo in 1939, depicts two nude women in an intimate and serene setting amidst lush, vibrant foliage. One woman with lighter skin rests her head on the lap of the other who has darker skin, creating a sense of comfort and tenderness. The entwined vegetation surrounding them adds to the sense of connection and unity. A monkey, a symbol often associated with lust and mischief in Kahlo's work, observes them from the background. This painting may reflect Kahlo's exploration of her identity and sexuality, as well as her deep connections with other women. The contrast between the two women could symbolize different aspects of Kahlo's own identity, including her indigenous and European heritage, or her complex relationship with femininity and bisexuality. The natural setting, with its intertwining roots and vines, suggests a deep, organic bond between the figures, possibly alluding to Kahlo's longing for emotional and physical intimacy. The peaceful and contemplative mood of the piece contrasts with Kahlo's usual depictions of pain and suffering, highlighting a moment of quiet solace and understanding. In Frida Kahlo's painting, Four Inhabitants of Mexico, we see a young Frida depicted as a child, sitting on the ground, isolated and contemplative. She's sucking her finger, a gesture that conveys vulnerability and a sense of abandonment as her mother leaves her alone. The scene is surreal, with a pregnant mud figure, a skeleton, and a mechanical-looking man, symbolizing Mexico's past and cultural identity. The broken head of the mud figure may represent Frida's own medical struggles, particularly her numerous foot surgeries. The vast, empty square amplifies a feeling of estrangement, creating a sense of disconnection between young Frida and the other figures. This painting captures a nightmarish reflection on identity, loss, and the search for belonging, emphasizing the loneliness and alienation experienced by the young artist. The depiction of shadows linking her to the other figures suggests a tenuous connection to her surroundings, highlighting the dissonance between her inner world and the external reality. In Girl with Death Mask, 1938, Frida Kahlo portrays a young girl, likely herself at 4, standing alone in a barren landscape under a somber sky. The child wears a skull mask, traditionally used during Mexico's Day of the Dead celebrations, symbolizing the acceptance and celebration of death. She holds a yellow marigold, a flower often placed on graves during the festival, further connecting her to themes of mortality. At her feet lies a carved wooden tiger mask, seemingly out of place and foreboding. The stark contrast between the innocent child and the morbid symbols hints at the harsh realities and cruel fate that Kahlo faced from a young age. The painting reflects a haunting exploration of innocence, death, and the inevitability of suffering, capturing a profound sense of isolation and the early confrontation with mortality. In Frida and the Caesarean operation, painted during a deeply painful period in 1932, Frida Kahlo explores the intense physical and emotional trauma of her miscarriage. The painting reflects her attempt to reconcile with the potential realities of motherhood as she imagines what might have been if her pregnancy had resulted in a cesarean birth. The composition features a central nude figure, symbolizing Kahlo herself, surrounded by medical imagery, including a surgical scene, a child's figure, and the looming face of Diego Rivera. The unfinished nature of the work underscores the overwhelming grief and physical agony that prevented her from completing it. The painting captures a poignant mix of hope and despair, reflecting Kahlo's shattered dreams and the relentless sorrow of her loss. Her decision to depict this deeply personal and traumatic experience demonstrates her courage in confronting her vulnerabilities and fears, making her art a powerful testimony to the complexities of her inner world. Through her art, Kahlo invites us to explore the depths of our own experiences and to find strength in our vulnerabilities. Kahlo remains a powerful figure in the world of art and beyond, her legacy a vibrant reminder of the strength and beauty that can emerge from even the darkest of times. Her story is not just one of pain and suffering, but also of passion, creativity, and unyielding spirit. Kahlo's life and work continue to inspire and challenge us, encouraging us to find our own paths through adversity and to embrace the full spectrum of human experience. Frida Kahlo's death remains shrouded in controversy and speculation. Officially, she died on July 13, 1954, from a pulmonary embolism, but alternative theories suggest she may have died by suicide or overdose. Isolda Pinedo's book, Frida Intima, reveals that Kahlo was found lifeless in the bathroom, a detail omitted by Diego Rivera. Notably, no autopsy was performed, despite the presence of bruises on her body, leaving the exact circumstances of her death uncertain. The mystery surrounding her death continues to intrigue and raise questions, adding to the enigmatic legacy of Frida Kahlo. If this narrative resonated with you, do support us. Hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe. Thank you for staying with us to the end. See you in the next video on Plaid Chronicles.